Live from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, this is USA Football's International Bowl, the first matchup out of 4 this, Saturday here in North Texas, and it is the USA Select team going up against the IFAF World Team. My name is Joe Vasile alongside Doug Anderson. We welcome you into the broadcast this morning. We'll be with you all day, and Doug, this should be a great day of football.
Well, it's absolutely a celebration of football as these teams come here to the finest football stadium in the world, perhaps, to play this game. And it just really speaks to the enormous popularity of the game of football, not only here in the United States, but across the world, as we have players representing Sweden, Slovakia, Japan, Mexico, Brazil, you name it. They're on the field this morning.
Yeah, that's right. We'll touch on this as the broadcast progresses, but 27 different countries represented on the IFAF team. We'll take a look right now at some of the impact players for USA Football, brought to you by Collegiate Sports Data. On the offensive side, it's a couple of quarterbacks who are going to be looked at to have a big impact in this one, both TJ Green and Tommy Carr. We saw in the Jamboree on Thursday night, both put up some good games on the defensive side of things. Carter McClellan and Adam Midland look to be making a big impact for the Select team as well.
Really interested to see TJ Green perform in this game today. He's the son of former Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Trent Green. He was the Missouri Player of the Year this past season, led his team to the state championship game. So we are in for a treat this morning to watch him and the rest of the USA players represent.
And the USA Select team will be led by Rocky Hager, an assistant coach at the College of New Jersey in Ewing, New Jersey, one of the finest institutions in that state. He's a 4-time Division II champion with North Dakota State when he was the coach there in the late 70s and early 80s. Also has stops at Division I, Temple and Northeastern. A very impressive resume for Rocky Hager. Also coached the U19 team last year in their win at the World Championships in Kuwait.
Well, certainly has experience with this kind of football format and experience with teaching young men what it's taking to become a player on the next level. And that's what a lot of these guys are trying to do as they play in this game, take that next step toward the collegiate level.
Hey, it certainly should be. A lot of talent on display today, of course, starting with this Select team versus the IFAF team. Then it'll be the U16 game coming up at 1 o'clock. 4 o'clock is going to be the start for the U15 team, and then the U17 game caps things off at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll have all that coverage for you right here on ESPN3. Well, the coin toss went up. The IFAF team won, chose to defer, so Team USA, Doug, will have the ball here to start. They'll be receiving the opening kickoff. What are you looking to see out of them on their first drive?
Well, the first thing you want to see is just execution. These guys have been thrown together as a team, short practice time to get familiar with each other, so you want to see them execute the basic plays. And then the talent on the field, you want to take a look at guys like TJ Green, who we talked about, but also the running backs in this game should be outstanding. You've got wide receivers as well that are certainly ones to watch, like Quez Henson out of Georgia. You've got a running back or two that I really look forward to seeing, Jerry Brown, the running back out of New York, and also you've got Briar Topo from right here in Texas, played down in the Austin area. He should be fun to watch today.
All right, the two players set up to receive the opening kickoff for the Select team are Richie Knuckles, wearing number 1, and Quez Henson, both wide receivers on this team. Henson is number 6. Kicking off for the IFAF World team is their kicker, Florian Mayer. Also a running back on this team as well, so a little bit of versatility out of him. As the ball's all teed up, and we're just waiting for the go-ahead here from the referees.
Officials making sure everybody understands what's about to happen. We've got looks like an official, an off-field official on the field as well, counting down the time to make sure everybody is ready to go, and they kick it off at the appropriate moment.
All right, we got the thumbs up. The crowd is still filing in here at AT&T Stadium. Lets out a nice cheer, and we are all set to go. Now we are underway here. The kick goes off, and it is fielded by Quez Henson back at the 3-yard line. Takes it across the 10, gets a block set up as he makes a cut to the outside. and then gets dragged down across the 25-yard line. So not terrible field position, but not great here for the Select team to start.
A good way to start for Henson. Took it inside the 5-yard line, was able to return it out across the 25, showing you some speed, and I think we'll see a lot of him today using that speed at the wide receiver position. So you take a look at the offensive starters for Team USA, and Henson is right there in the mix, along with Knuckles, who we saw on the return team as well, and then the offensive line. Bunch of big guys up front for Team USA.
It should be fun. We saw them spread it out quite a bit during that jamboree the other night. A little quick screen to the outside on the first play for Team USA. And it's caught there by TJ Green. Split out in almost a wildcat formation there as they brought in a second quarterback, Tommy Carr, who was the one who actually ended up throwing that one pass. So a little bit of trickery here early on for Team USA.
Well, TJ Green wanted to go downfield with the ball after he caught it, but did not have a receiver to throw to, so he ended up having to run the ball. Makes it up to the 30-yard line.
So Green now will get back in his normal quarterbacking position. Working out of the shotgun here. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the top of your screen. We'll just keep it here on a read to the outside, brings it across the 40 before he's met down there. That should be good enough for a first down.
Green showing you his wheels as well as his arm this afternoon as he fakes the handoff and was able to advance the ball for the first down across the 40. Green's got great talent, not only with his arm but with his legs. He was a dual threat playing out of Leawood, Kansas Rockhurst High School this past year.
And you're seeing that more and more often, more of the dual threat quarterbacks who are very proficient in both using their legs and, of course, also knowing when to pass. Certainly seems like TJ Green, one of those. Jerry Brown Jr. in the backfield with him as he throws a quick screen pass to the outside for Knuckles. Gains a couple of yards. It'll set up second and medium.
Knuckles bottled up by that IFAF defense that time, played it well.
Actually fumbled the ball a little bit out of bounds after he was brought down. It was a gain of about 1, so it'll be second down and 9 coming up here for the Select team. Knuckles and Green hooked up for a couple of touchdowns in the jamboree the other night. Trips to the left here for the Select team. Green takes a snap, rolls out to that left side, fires a pass, but it is a little bit low that time, intended for Blaylan Crawford, the running back out there running the pass pattern for the Select team. That'll bring up 3rd and long.
And for the international team, a nice rush for Alfonso Polito, who had broken through the offensive line and was able to put a little pressure on Green.
So we'll see what here on 3rd and long the Select team is able to dial up to try and pick up these yards, or whether the IFAF defense will be able to put the clamps down and force a punt here on the opening drive. We saw Green make a play with his legs earlier on in this drive. See if maybe he ends up having to do that here. He's got a good pocket to throw. Now nobody's open downfield. He's going to take off running himself, and he's going to get tripped up at midfield. That's not going to be enough for a first down. Needed to get to the 46-yard line, so 4th down upcoming.
And Carl Akey for the IFAF team makes the first down saving tackle there at midfield as he was able to trip up Green right at the 50-yard line.
And so that's going to bring out the punting unit here for the Select team. Doing the punting duties is going to be Tommy Carr, who mentioned as the quarterback who actually threw the first pass in this game. 2 players back to receive the punt for the IFAF World Team. It's Ken Hiriyoshi wearing number 11 and number 31, Carl Akey. Carr's punt angled over towards Akey's, fielded inside the 20, takes it across there, and then he's met at the 23-yard line and dragged down by Jason Magnani.
Jason Magnani put a nice hit on Akey on that special teams coverage, and now we get a chance to see this USA defense for the first time this afternoon. A talented bunch of players for USA defense that feature Magnani among others, who made that play downfield.
Yeah, certainly one of the things that you got to be looking for out of this USA defense is their defensive line. A couple of the big guys down there, including Trevor Bloom, who was one of the captains for the coin toss for the Select team down there, had a big game in the jamboree, and he certainly might end up being able to come up with a big one here. We also would like to take the chance to thank Sports Authority for their sponsoring of this coverage today. Sports Authority is the official sporting good provider of USA Football. And also, portions of this are sponsored by Riddell, the official helmet and protective equipment partner of USA Football. All the helmets down there on the field are Riddell products. All these guys, well, they're well taken care of.
They certainly are. One of the real points of emphasis for USA Football, as we'll find out throughout the course of the afternoon, is teaching the safety of the game. And nothing's more important to the safety than a good helmet. Riddell does that for these players.
Yeah, also, of course, USA Football with their Heads Up Football initiative, which, of course, we'll talk about a little bit more as this game goes on. A little handoff up the middle that time. Went to Anton Wagan. He got forward for a couple of yards, so a pickup of about 3 on first down for the IFAF World Team on the ground.
Tackle made by Devin Woodson. Woodson had the honor of carrying the American flag for Team USA as they came out onto the field this morning.
Pistol formation here for the IFAF team. 2 wide receivers to either side. Shotgun snap. Throw off to the right, and it is incomplete. That time the pass intended for Simon Gendrip. The quarterback in there for the IFAF team is one of their captains, Carlos Fernandez. One of 8 players on this IFAF roster, hailing from Mexico. One of the most well-represented countries on the world team. Also, Sweden has 8 players. There are 9 players from Switzerland and 16 from Japan. Fernandez takes the snap, drops back, looks to pass over the middle. It's caught there, slipping a tackle. And picking up a first down that time was Devin Solberger.
Good job by the IFAF team there to pick up the first down, and Fernandez with the throw over the middle, finding his open man.
And a good job there to evade the initial tackle from Adam Midland. Linebacker we highlighted as one of our impact players for this one. He's not a guy who'll miss too many tackles like that. First down and 10 for the IFAF team. A little zone read up the middle. Rumbling forward for a gain of a couple that time.
Team USA's defense will certainly have to be on their toes. The communication is going to be different between this IFAF team, so when they're calling signals and they're calling plays, it's going to be hard for Team USA to kind of gauge exactly what they're planning or what's up their sleeve. They'll just have to read and react for the most part this afternoon.
Pistol formation again. Now it's Jack Martin in the backfield with Fernandez taking the handoff here. And Martin rumbles up to about the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 2. That'll bring up 3rd and 5. Certainly a manageable down and distance. But so far the first drives for both of these teams have kind of mirrored each other. IFAF picking up a first down and then not really being able to get much on the first 2 plays of the next series. We'll see what they end up going to here, or if Team USA can end up forcing a punt just like they did.
Fernandez, as you mentioned, one of 8 players from the nation of Mexico. Big football popularity in Mexico. In fact, they have a prep team out of Monterrey, Prepa Tech, that regularly tours against Texas high school football teams in non-district play.
Fernandez fires a pass off to the left, caught again by Solberger, and he's got another first down out to the 48-yard line.
Well, Delvin Solberger has been the go-to guy for Fernandez here on this opening drive, able to make 2 big catches for the IFAF team.
And what we've seen so far out of their offense, at least for the IFAF team, they're just slowly and methodically picking up not too many yards at once, not trying to make the big play, just moving the chains down the field and having some success here on this first series. See if they can keep it up. Now right at about midfield, ball off to the left of the star. Fernandez out of the pistol again. High snap, but he's able to pull it down. A little handoff goes nowhere that time. Blowing up the play in the backfield for Team USA was Woodson.
And Woodson making another good play as they're able to cut down on the run, and I don't think that the running game is going to be very effective for the IFAF team based on the size and the speed that Team USA has. If they're going to move the ball, I think what we've seen so far is they're going to have to rely on that dump-off pass, the short passes, 5-10 yard range to try and pick up first downs and move the chains.
Second down and 11 here for the World Team. Ball on the 47-yard line. Fernandez works out of the pistol once again. He's got Wagan in the backfield with him. Drops back, looks to pass, fires one well over the head of the intended target that time, who was the wide receiver Nicholas Nens. Looked like a little miscommunication there as Nens just kind of stopped running, and that pass just ended up going about 5 yards too far.
Yeah, Fernandez kind of sailed it on him as well, and that's been what we've seen a couple of times from Fernandez. Very good at the short pass, but when he tries to extend it downfield a little bit, still trying to find his touch with these receivers.
So it'll be 3rd down and 11 coming up here for the IFAF team. Ball's on the 47. They need to get it down to the 42. Little rollout here to the right for Fernandez. Fires down the field, and the pass is caught. It's going to be close to a first down. Not quite sure whether or not they were able to pick it up that time, as Mohamed Nechad was able to make the catch.
And a good catch by Nechad. We're able to see the replays not only on our screen but on the big jumbotron here at AT&T Stadium, and it was a clear catch as Nechad went down for the ball and scooped it into his arms before it hit the ground.
Yeah, that big jumbotron hanging over the top of the field, I got to tell you, you see it on TV so many times, but you don't appreciate the size of it until you're sitting here and looking up at it. So out comes the punting unit here on 4th and 2, as they say he was just a couple of yards shy, and first 8. Looks like a timeout got taken, or rather a delay of game penalty. I didn't see the flag go down on the field, but certainly the delay of game penalty. And well, that might not be the worst penalty to take here. It gives you a little extra room to try and pin him deep without the ball going into the end zone for a touchback on this punt.
See the return team for Team USA, and another chance for Richie Knuckles and Quez Henson to make a play. Henson had a nice return on the opening kickoff. We haven't seen Knuckles yet on the return game.
Punt spirals over towards the right corner, and that one will go out of bounds. We'll see where they end up saying where it went out. Looks like the 13-yard line. So the good coffin corner drill that time for the punter for the IFAF team.
One possession for each team so far, Joe, and while they were able to move the ball, they were not able to take it all the way downfield. Now Team USA with a ton of yardage ahead of them to work with as they start this possession inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, certainly an uphill battle going here for Team USA. It looks like they're going to bring in the quarterback, Tommy Carr. Stands at 6'3", 220 pounds, from Atascadero, California. He'll start working out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Handoff goes here up the middle. And a gain of a couple that time for Team USA on the first play of the drive. That was James Poe from Fort Madison, Iowa.
Poe ran for 427 yards this past season, scored 3 touchdowns. He is James Poe the 5th, carrying on a long-standing family tradition in his name.
Carr out of the shotgun. Working here on 2nd down and long. And he is going to hand off here up the middle once again. Rather taking himself off the fake and gain a couple of yards. And that's going to bring up a somewhat manageable 3rd and maybe a long 5 here.
Yeah, 3rd and 5, and this 5F defense really does get after it. They're able to pursue the ball very well. They may be surprising some folks here in the early going with the way that they're able to bottle up this Team USA offense.
Carr out of the shotgun. He's got trips to the top of your screen to the right. No score here early, 3rd and 5. Takes the snap under some pressure. Runs out of the pocket. Does he pick up the first down? No, it's going to be close. But I don't know if he quite got the needed distance. He needed to get to the 23, and they're going to say, yes, he did pick it up. They'll give him the spot just across the 23-yard line. A first down here for the select team as we take a look at the replay. Carr with the heads up, seeing that he had the lane to run, and then picking up that first down.
Yeah, smart move by Carr. A good game manager. Played his high school ball last year, as you mentioned, in Atascadero, California, where he passed for over 1,300 yards.
Out of the shotgun here, it's Carr again. Takes a snap, drops back, looking to pass. Doesn't see anybody open. Under some pressure now, and he's going to end up going down back at the 20-yard line. Sack that time.
That's a coverage sack for the IFAF team from Alfonso Pulido. Carr had all kinds of time to throw the ball, but nothing open downfield, and that allowed for Pulido to come in, make the play, and it's a big loss of yardage for Team USA.
And you know, Doug, you were talking about when the IFAF team had the ball about how their quarterback Fernandez was much better with the short passes. It seems like it might be good for Team USA to call some short passes too, just because the coverage down the field for IFAF has been so good so far. Carr with a quick pass to the outside. It's caught there by Cole Moncton for a gain of a couple here on 2nd and long.
I think that's a good idea for Team USA. You've got very talented receivers. Get them the football, let them work with it. But that time, another nice play from the IFAF defense to keep it to a short gain and bring up 3rd down and about 10.
So we'll see what they can do here on 3rd and long. They were unable to convert on a 3rd and long on their last possession. They got 3 wide receivers to the left side of the formation. Carr out of the shotgun, takes a snap, pocket collapses on him. He dumps it off to Crawford, makes a stutter step to the inside, gets to about the 29-yard line. He needed to get up to the 34, so that's not quite going to do it. That's going to bring up 4th and 5, as we'll take a look at the replay of that one here. As you see, they just set up a little slip screen, purposely allowed the pressure to get in, and then dumped off to Crawford, who had a little bit of space to run, but just not enough.
Ideally, a very good play philosophically. It didn't work to the extent that they needed it to, but maybe go back to it later on in the game because they did see that it works at least for a short yardage situation. You can't do it on 3rd and 10, but maybe if you're in a 3rd and 5, you could.
Punt from Carr, nearly blocked. When he's able to get it off, it bounces the 45-yard line, takes a world team bounce, and ends up going out of bounds at the 50. And so good starting field position right at midfield here for the IFAF World Team.
And this is a great opportunity for the IFAF team to put the first points up this afternoon as they have the ball right at midfield. Take a look at their offense, which is led by their quarterback Fernandez on that first series. We'll see if he comes back for the second series as well. Looks like he is out there. And they were able to find a little bit of room to pass the ball. Solberg had a couple of catches on that first possession.
As they hand it off to Wagan here on 1st down, he brings it across midfield, gets tackled down at the 49, so a gain of 1 that time on the ground for the IFAF team. And as you mentioned, it's going to be some tough going on the ground for this team just because in the trenches it seems early at least like Team USA has the advantage on defense.
Yeah, you've got some big guys up front. Big number 99, one to keep an eye on, Jacob Workema out of Morgan Hill, California. You also have Devin, who we saw earlier in this ball game as well, make a couple of big plays. Devin Woodson out of Clemson.
Well, that will tick off the final seconds here in the first quarter. We'll take a step aside when we come back, quarter number 2 here on ESPN3. No score so far.
When you get away from smartphones and video games and tablets, it's amazing what you can really plug into. This season, shop the brands you love, plus thousands of items on sale now. Sports Authority, all things sporting good.
What does it take to become elite? It takes more than dedication, focus, and hard work. It takes an elite-level training program. Customized, sport-specific, online. your perfect workout every time. That's Volt Athletics.
And we welcome you back into AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Joe Vasile, Doug Anderson with you on the broadcast. On the first play here in the second half, Anton Wagan takes the handoff off left tackle and picks up a first down for the IFAF team.
Huge run for Wagan, as that's the biggest play of the afternoon so far. Wagan bounced off a tackle initially at the line and was able to bounce it to the left side, pick up a big first down for the IFAF team.
A gain of 14 on the ground, and now they're in business. This will be, well, the furthest into opponent territory that either team has taken a snap here, as the ball spotted down at the 35-yard line. Fernandez still in at quarterback for the IFAF team, out of the pistol formation as they've worked pretty much all day long. He's going to hand it off here to Wagan, and he gets stuffed back at the line of scrimmage, maybe even a loss of a yard on the play at time for the IFAF team. So second and about 10.5 coming up.
That time they tried to push it through the middle, and up the middle, as we've talked about, a tough place to go for the IFAF team, but they were able to bounce it to the outside on that 14-yard run for Wagan, and that might be where they find their running room this afternoon.
Another pistol formation for Fernandez. He takes the high snap, looks to pass, fires it over to the left side, and that one is caught by Hiroshi. And that is a gain of about 4 yards, so that'll make it 3rd and 7.
Nice catch by Hiroshi there, and Ken Hiroshi, one of the Japanese players on this international roster. They look to be perhaps the most pumped up in the pregame to be here at AT&T Stadium and taking part in this event. They've come a long way to be here.
Yeah, they certainly have, coming from almost the entire opposite side of the globe. Come here and play here, and really it's got to be a great experience for all the kids, both the ones on the USA teams and the international teams, to come here to a stadium where, well, they maybe have only ever seen it on TV before, and now get the opportunity not only to come and see it, but to get down on the field and play. It's a big first down pickup, that team for the IFAF team, as Kotsusa was able to come up with a nice catch.
Kotsusa was on the ground. He's another of the Japanese contingent, and I thought that was an excellent pass by Fernandez to thread the needle and put that ball between two defenders. Now they're almost in the red zone and knocking on the door of the first score today.
Fernandez out of a pistol for the IFAF team. He takes a snap. Gives a handoff here over to the right side. Carrying was Jack Martin, and he brought it into the red zone, dragged down at the 16-yard line. Pickup of 5 that time, but a flag is down on the play. We'll check and see what the penalty is. It's going to be a face mask going against the select team. So that'll bring the ball half the distance to the goal. And it's going to be a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line now for the IFAF team. Best chance to score for them, and really for either team so far, as we're still scoreless here a couple minutes into the second quarter.
Now's the time for the USA Select team to really buckle down and see if they can keep this international team from punching it into the end zone.
Fernandez out of a pistol once again. He's got 2 wide receivers lined up to his left. We'll give a handoff here. They're going to cut it to the outside, getting to the edge and diving for the pylon and into the end zone for a touchdown is Anton Wagan.
Well, we've seen Anton Wagan make some plays. He had a 14-yard carry on the first play of this drive and now caps it off with a similar run. It's a bounce to the outside, going to the left, and he's able to work around the edge and put that ball across the pylon for the touchdown. First score of the day, and it's the international team who goes on top.
Yeah, and you said a little bit earlier on this drive, Doug, that they're having their success running the ball when they bounce it to the outside. Not so much between the tackles, but when they get outside the tackles, that's when they've been having their success. And right there on that touchdown run was a good example of that, as Wagan is also kicking the extra point here for the IFAF team, and it is up and good. So 7-0 is the score in favor of the IFAF World Team, as we'll take another look at the replay on this one. And you can see maybe a hold there on the offensive line gotten away, but nothing that was really enough to draw a penalty there, as Wagan was able to dive for the front corner of the end zone and get in for that first score.
I think one thing that we've seen through the first quarter and some change in this football game is that the officials, if they can, are going to let these teams play. They're not going to be too ticky-tacky on the fouls, and if there's a minor hold here and there, the teams can get away with that this afternoon, because I think in one respect they want to let the teams play, and in another respect you've got 4 football games today. You don't want to slow them down too much, so I think there's an opportunity to play today and really let the two teams just get after it a little bit.
Portions of this game are brought to you by St. Vincent Sports Performance, the official sports medicine partner of the U.S. national team, and also by CVS Minute Clinic, the official sports physical provider of USA Football. And, well, now USA Football will get the ball back, and they'll try and come up with an answer here. They've got 9 minutes left before halftime, so still plenty of time left on the clock, a whole lot of football left to play, but certainly it's always important to come back and answer with points after you've given them up. Return here will be taken by Henson. He brings it across the 30. He's got a good one. Burst of speed across the 40. Fumbles the football, but it goes out of bounds. And a lucky break for the select team, as there was nothing but IFAF jerseys around that fumble, but it ended up taking a hop out of bounds.
Well, you see the speed of Henson and the shiftiness as he's able to cut to the outside, split the two defenders, but then as they converge on him, loses the football, and it's a fortunate bounce for the select team that it goes out of bounds.
First down and 10 coming here for the select team on their third drive of this game. Looks like another Wildcat formation. And a handoff goes up the middle. And nothing doing that time for Blaylen Crawford.
Crawford, somewhat local, as he hails from Bristow, Oklahoma, just up the road from AT&T Stadium in Arlington across the Red River, and had an excellent high school season in Bristow for Beggs High School.
Looks like in at quarterback on this drive for the select team is Scotty Forbes out of Sterling, Virginia. Forbes, pretty interesting story. Get to that right after this play. Second down and 9. Forbes takes the snap, looked to run out to the left, had nowhere to go, and got back to the original line of scrimmage, losing a yard. That'll bring up 3rd and long. But Forbes has moved around quite a bit in his life. Lived in Europe for 3 years, actually, and has transferred schools 7 times, so perhaps can relate a little bit to the international side of things.
I was about to say, he's just an address away from being on the international team. Happens to live in the United States now, but has certainly seen his share of the world, now hailing out of Sterling, Virginia.
And he works out of the shotgun here. He's got 4 receivers, 2 to either side of the formation. Takes the snap, drops back, flushed out of the pocket, dumps one off for Crawford, who's got some room to run. He's got the first down and more across the 35 and dragged down at the 31-yard line. Big pickup that time on what looked like a broken play at first.
And you see the skill set for Forbes. One of his strengths is the improvisational play. He comes out of the pocket when it collapses, finds his man Crawford underneath, and Crawford is able to turn it into a first down.
And so a big first down pickup, and one that was much needed for Team USA as they bring it into their best scoring position of this game at the 30-yard line. Forbes out of the shotgun, 2 receivers to either side of the formation once again. He takes it, hands off to Crawford, makes a cut, tries to bounce it back to the outside, but was never able to get to the edge, and looks like he might have lost half a yard on the play. No gain at best, 2nd and 10 coming up.
Crawford saw a gap, but as soon as he saw it, the gap was closed by that international defense, and you got to give credit to them. That time the tackle made by Loic Sapart, but he was just part of the equation as they were able to really do a nice job of keeping Crawford in check on that play.
Shotgun again here for Forbes. This is pretty much the standard set for the select team. He's going to keep it himself off the option. Run it up the middle and get dragged down at the 25-yard line. So that time, pick up a 5. That'll make it a manageable 3rd down here.
I like the wheels that we've seen on Scotty Forbes. He's got a quick burst when he decides to run it. He's given this team a little bit of energy that they lacked when T.J. Green and Tommy Carr were in the ball game.
And I think what was happening with that game is sometimes the protection would be very good, but sometimes when it would break down, that's when you saw Carr and Green struggle a little bit. But Forbes has been able to keep plays alive as they run the option here, pitch it out to Crawford, who gains a couple of yards. It's going to be a 4th down and short coming up, so we'll see what the call is, whether they decide to attempt a field goal. But it looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field here and go for it, and why not?
Exactly. This is an exhibition. It's a game that you're about having fun in, and you throw strategy to a certain degree out the window a little bit, and you just go for it.
So 4th down and 3, ball on the 22-yard line. They need to get to the 19. Forbes takes the snap, handoff, goes to Crawford, and he's got the first down and more inside. Looks like to the 10-yard line. A good job by Blaylen Crawford on this drive, picking up a couple of big first downs.
And Crawford had to pick up the first down. He knew that, but then was able to extend that play all the way down to the 10-yard line. He's a beefy kid at 5'8" and 250 pounds, and he has that low center of gravity that allows him to shed tacklers. That's why he's been so successful at his high school, and now in this game we've seen him come up with some key plays.
He's almost a little bit reminiscent, at least on this drive, as he takes the pitch to the outside, crosses the 10, gets dragged down at the 6. Reminiscent of Ahmad Bradshaw a little bit, just in his style of playing. That little running back, he can catch it, he can get to the outside, use some shiftiness, and really make some elusive plays.
And he's been the workhorse on this drive. He's been a part of almost every play that Team USA has put out there on this possession.
Really, either him or Forbes have been the ones with the ball at the end of either plays on this drive. Ball down to the 6, 2nd down and goal. Forbes keeps it himself up the middle, gets inside the 5, still on his feet here, keeping the legs churning after the initial contact, and gets dragged down at the 3. Good job there by Forbes to keep his legs moving and pick up the extra yard that time after he was initially contacted.
And Tyron Vreed with the tackle linebacker for the international team, but Forbes did a nice job of fighting for extra yardage, and now they are in a position to answer that score from the last possession for the international team.
3rd down and goal, ball on the 3-yard line, and looks like a whistle here, and a timeout was taken by the IFAF team, and with that timeout, we'll take it with them. Back with a 3rd down play on ESPN3 right after this.
The icon of the game. The icon of competition. The icon of athleticism. The icon of fandom. The icon of the future. The future of football is now.
You know, over the years, there's been a lot of very good players, Doug, that have come through this USA football season here. We're taking a look at a couple of them. Of course, the Heisman Trophy winner from last year, Jameis Winston, Todd Gurley from the University of Georgia, Malcolm Brown, Devin Funchess, all those guys projected to be first-round draft picks coming up this year. And, of course, a couple of guys who started in the national championship game that took place on this very field a couple of weeks ago in Michael Bennett and Charles Nelson. Just a lot of excellent talent has come through this system over the years, and makes you kind of excited to see who the next one's going to be that we're going to see here over these next 2 weeks.
The future is always bright for USA football, and it's always fun to kind of take a look at the stars of tomorrow and say, hey, I saw them win. I knew them win. And you got guys like Gurley and Winston up there who are outstanding players going into the first round. Heck, that's a lot of stuff.
Run to the outside here on 3rd down. Getting close to the goal line, but coming up just short was the quarterback, Forbes, that time on the keeper. And it'll be 4th down and goal from the 1-yard line. And it looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field and go for it again here. I like the call, and so does the crowd.
Yeah, I saw another look at the replay, and it was definitely a touchdown. It looked to be from Scotty Forbes as he was able to reach that ball across the plane before he went down. But it'll make it 4th and goal. We'll see if Forbes can punch it in this time.
Shotgun empty set here for Forbes. He keeps it, goes up the middle, bounces off a tackle, gets into the end zone for a touchdown.
Forbes not to be denied. Joe, he thought he scored on that previous play. This time he makes it official and was able to put it in. He rushed for 5 touchdowns in his season this past year in California. Or Virginia, rather.
And that was the drive that Team USA absolutely needed, taking up 6 minutes off the clock, going all the way down the field, 87 yards for the touchdown.
Heck of a drive for Team USA. And now they've got a chance to tie the ball game up with the extra point.
On to kick the extra point here is Austin Vanover. Forbes going to be the holder. Snap down, kick up, and it is good. So Team USA ties things up at 7 here with just under 3 minutes remaining in this first half. And, well, that's, like we said, the exact drive, what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, they give up a touchdown, so it's up to their offense to come and answer, and they certainly did. And the first appearance for Scotty Forbes proves to be a catalyst for Team USA as he moved the ball downfield effectively, combining with Blaylen Crawford, the back out of Oklahoma. That's a combination that I would imagine we'll see a lot the rest of the day. Obviously, you want to get everybody a chance to play. You're not necessarily going to ride the hot hand, but I think with what we saw from Forbes and Crawford, you definitely will see them again in this game.
Yeah, certainly a combination that has some good chemistry going. And also, like I said, they play off of each other so well. Forbes with his mobility, Crawford with their mobility. You saw there was one play right at the beginning of the drive where Forbes ended up getting flushed out of the pocket, and Crawford was just in the right space on his route to be able to pick it up, and just knowing where the other one's going to be certainly went a long way on that drive.
And that happens in all-star type games where you have two guys that just kind of form a chemistry, and once those two guys are out there on the field together, they can make some things happen because they're thinking on a level that nobody else is thinking on, and they kind of play a two-man game against the rest of the team.
Kickoff goes deep and is taken here at the 12-yard line. Returned here across the 25 for the IFAF team. That's Shunpei Fujikoka. And he gets dragged down there, and so the IFAF team will start. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left, so about a 3-minute drill that they've got to try and do here to try and put up some points on the board before the end of this half. They also get the ball back to start the second half as well, as they chose to defer.
We've seen 3 quarterbacks for the select team for Team USA, but one man has controlled the show this afternoon for the international team, and that's Carlos Fernandez, who stays in at QB.
Fernandez takes it. A little handoff here, cutting to the outside is Wagon. And he, that time, was not able to get to the edge and ended up getting dragged down back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And that was Prentice Reed, the defensive back out of El Cerrito, California, with the tackle. Made a terrific play on Wagon. Open field tackle to bring him down, and we were excited to see Reed because we'd heard a lot of good things about him coming into this game, and he certainly lived up to the hype with that play.
Well, back to work goes Fernandez. He's got Wagon in the backfield with him again. Takes the pistol snap. Handoff goes up the middle, and it's swallowed up almost immediately. Getting in on that tackle for Team USA was Kalen Acosta.
Kalen Acosta makes a nice move to stop the run. Young man from Chicago, Illinois, won the Relentless Pursuit Award for his football team this past season. So obviously going after the football is something that he does very well.
Pistol again here for Fernandez. He's got 3 wide receivers lined up to the right of the formation, up at the top of your screen. Down on the left side, that's split out. That's Nicholas Nens. And a whistle and a timeout taken. Here that is taken by the IFAF team. We'll take it with them. Welcome you back into AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Joe Vasile alongside Doug Anderson with you this morning. The game 1 out of 4 here in the International Bowl this Saturday. There are 6 games overall. Last night was the first one between the U18 teams of the United States and Canada. Canada ended up winning that one 25-9 in a pretty tightly contested contest. Despite that score, a little dump off here to the left, getting close to the first down, but short was Jack Martin.
Jack Martin, the lone Australian representing the international team this morning, and came from all the way down under to play in this ball game. A big thrill for him, and he's made some nice plays so far in the game. Worked the ball up to the 40-yard line on that catch, but it does bring up a short 4th down.
And so a decision coming here for the IPAF team. We saw not once but twice on that last drive Team USA going for it on 4th down, but of course the field position here, and with about 1 minute and 10 seconds left, it might not be that easy of a decision for the IPAF team to just go for it here.
On one hand, you want to say, yes, let's go for it, let's have fun, just throw it out there, see what happens. But on the other hand, you're in a 7-7 ball game, and there's that inner coach that tells you, hey, this is not necessarily the smart thing to do. We're in a ball game. We don't want to necessarily take a chance on a play that could turn into points for Team USA.
And it looks like they will send the punting units out. So to kick it away will be Koki Narita for the IFAF World Team. And back to receive, it'll be Quez Henson and Ricky Knuckles. High punt here, and it is angled out of bounds. That time seeming almost determined to not allow any kind of return off that punt. It takes a couple seconds off the clock, and they're going to mark it out all the way up at the 44-yard line. So good starting field position here for Team USA. They might have enough time to quickly drive down and either kick a field goal or maybe even get into the end zone here before the half.
Hindsight being 20/20, if you'd have known that the punt was only going to travel about 15 yards, you might not have punted it. You might have gone ahead and gone for it, because what ended up happening was you still give great field position to Team USA and still a lot of time left on the clock at 1 minute 2.
Quarterback coming out for Team USA is going to be Carr. So Tommy Carr works out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers off to the left. Takes the snap, drops back, looks to pass under a lot of pressure, got hit as he threw, and it was incomplete. That time he misfired, intended for Brian Nichols, and now a little bit of a skirmish here after the play, but it gets broken up, no flags thrown.
Carr was nailed by Loic Sapart coming in on the rush. Was able to take Tommy Carr down, and maybe after that was a little bit of pushing and shoving from one of the offensive linemen trying to protect his quarterback.
And we've seen Sapart make a couple of good plays on the defensive line, but he's been getting good pressure all morning long.
He's from Belgium.
Carr out of the shotgun, takes the snap, looks to pass. He's got some time, fires one deep down the sideline, but that time he just overthrew Knuckles.
And we see the strong arm for Carr that time, but a little bit too strong as he overthrew his intended receiver. And that's the kind of play I think they would love to get right here at the end of the first half. Maybe hit a home run and score some points to go into that halftime locker room on top, especially knowing that the international team will have the ball to start the second half.
You know, and mentioned this a little bit earlier on in the first quarter about how TJ Green and Ricky Knuckles had some good chemistry going in the Jamboree a couple of nights ago, but it doesn't seem, at least from the small sample of Tommy Carr being in there, that he's got that same kind of chemistry going with him. Takes a snap under a lot of pressure. He just dumps it off here, and that's Crawford taking it out across the star midfield. The ball comes out at the end. The IFAF team says they have it. We'll wait and see what the officials say. They come up with the ball, and it is going to be World Team with it with 38 seconds left.
Lucas Ruos with the fumble recovery for the international team, as Crawford was the safety net for Carr, caught the ball and had made a nice gain, but then at the end just coughs it up, and we take a look at it on the replay.
Now you see, made the cut to the inside to try and pick up the yards. Got gang tackled. Looked like the ball ended up just getting punched out by the second player for the World Team that got in there. Trying to see who that it looked like it was Maximilian Zangel who got in there and punched the ball out of Crawford's right hand.
He strips the ball. Ross recovers it. Ross from the Swedish contingent that is here this week.
Fernandez still in a quarterback for the IFAF team. Takes a snap, drops back, looks to pass, fires one deep over to the left side. That one is caught. And what a great job that time to haul that one down by Mohamed Nejad.
And Mohamed Nejad with a terrific catch. You're not going to see a better catch made this afternoon than the one that Nejad makes here, as he is able to reach up for the football, falling down, but able to maintain the possession, pick up a big first down for the international team.
And now with 21 seconds left, the IFAF team has one timeout remaining. USA has two, and it looks like IFAF is going to burn their final timeout here with 16 seconds left. And they're facing 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. And, well, if you are the IFAF team here, you're pretty much now with no timeouts left. You're limited to just trying to take a couple shots at the end zone here.
Only 16 seconds left. So you have time with it being first down. If you manage the plays correctly, you can take a couple of shots and still have time if you want to run out a field goal attempt. But I think they're definitely thinking end zone here, trying to find the touchdown here at the end of that first half. What a big momentum builder that would be for them, as they have come in and really represented themselves well against a select group of Team USA players.
Yeah, and this was something that we didn't see that much in the Jamboree. It was really, I don't want to say that the select team dominated the IFAF team, but certainly they looked much better and much crisper on both sides of the ball. But here translated into gameplay, we've seen the IFAF team really step it up, and it seems like whatever adjustments that they made in practice yesterday are paying dividends out on the field today. Fernandez takes the snap. He fires one deep towards the front corner of the end zone and incomplete. Good coverage down the field that time by Malik Charles.
Put the ball in a good spot for Simon Gamdrub to make the reception, but good coverage, as you mentioned, from Charles, and made it a really tough play. Gamdrub was not able to hold on to the football.
That play took 6 seconds off the clock, so now 10 ticks remain here in the first half. Enough time to get off two more plays at that pace. Fernandez, 4 receivers, takes a snap, drops back. It's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to take it off and run it himself. He's going to get close to a first down, but they're going to say he stepped out of bounds before, down at the 19-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 3 seconds left. That time he was flush from the pocket.
Good game management from Fernandez here as he watches the scoreboard in front of him, realizes how much time is left on the clock, and steps out of bounds with enough time to bring on the field goal unit.
So they bring him out. Once again, it'll be Anton Wagan, the running back, scored a touchdown in this game, also doing the kicking duties.
He has the touchdown and the extra point, so if he hits the field goal, he'll have all 10 international points here in the first half.
And it's going to be a 36-yard field goal attempt as Team USA will take a timeout and ice Wagan. And we are going to take it with them. Back with the field goal attempt after this.
This is where games are played, where friendships are forged, where kids come to have fun. This is where coaches teach fundamentals, where respect is both learned and earned, and memories last long after the clock reaches 0. This is USA football.
So the team's getting back onto the field here. 3 seconds left in the first half. Just enough time for Antoine Wagan to come on and attempt what's going to be almost a 37-yard field goal from just outside the left hash mark on the NFL field. Not a great snap. Kick goes up. Might have gotten tipped, and it is well short and to the right. So we will go into the locker room still tied at 7 as Team USA is able to come up with the stop there.
They did, and they were fortunate that the snap was a little off. Fernandez did a nice job to try and put the ball down for Wagan, but it was too late, and Wagan could not get a very good kick off. And Team USA does a nice job to keep points from being on the board. Now their defense will have to step up at the start of the second half to keep that international offense from scoring when we begin the third quarter.
As certainly as it was Prentice Reed flying in from the outside that time. Didn't get a hand on it like originally thought he might have, but he certainly might have disrupted that kick a little bit. So we'll take a step aside, be back at the halftime report after these messages on ESPN3.
USA Football was created to lead the development of the sport, to provide leadership to a fragmented landscape, and take responsibility to strengthen the game's foundation. Since 2002, when the NFL and the NFL Players Association established USA Football as an independent nonprofit, we've united the sport. We made sure that everyone, from players and coaches to parents and officials, have access to the best resources. We offer dynamic player camps and exciting digital tools centered on football fundamentals so players and coaches get the best education and training. And as the sport's national governing body, we establish national teams. And because we believe every child with an interest in tackle or flag should be able to play, we have distributed more than $5 million in equipment, almost $500,000 to build quality fields. Simply put, USA Football has set new standards for excellence in teaching, organizing, and advancing youth football. So what's next? What's the next 10 years look like? Heads Up Football is a new approach the NFL and USA Football are embarking on to change the culture of this sport. It's America's favorite sport. We need to be the guardians of the game. We need to protect this. Heads Up Tackling is addressing that issue.
USA Football, thank goodness for it. This is extremely important.
Never has there been a greater responsibility for coaches to get it right, to be educated, to be consistent, to get the right training, and to teach the right technique.
USA Football is committed to teaching every coach how to train their players to become better tacklers.
First, properly tackle. Get the head out of the tackle. Then we're going to work with you to reduce helmet contacts in practices, called levels of contact. These two things are married together.
Heads Up Tackling is the best way for a young player to be a really good tackler.
Heads Up Football is an exciting program. It's going to help the football game in great ways. We want to make sure and support it.
All coaches have to face this responsibility because ultimately they're telling these young players what is right and what is wrong.
This is the first time that anyone's ever taken a comprehensive approach to this complex problem. It starts with online coaching education program, the only nationally accredited program that's available for youth football today. But the next step is a checks and balance. Now we get the Heads Up Safety Director, someone that USA Football will personally train, that will be there at every single club across the country to ensure that they are teaching proper tackling, that they're using the proper practice plans, that they're making sure they're creating a better, safer environment for every one of the players that are participating. So now parents can be confident that they have a Heads Up Football director as well as coaches that are properly trained. Now they're going to see and they're going to learn with the coaches. This is how you properly fit equipment. This is how you properly teach tackling. This is concussion management. We're going to give the confidence to the parents and ultimately the players that now there is a changed culture.
The head must come out of football. You can be tough, you have to be tough to play football, but no one has a tough brain. And so the right thing to do is to take the head out of the game.
And I'm proud that USA Football can deliver this and ultimately look parents in the eye and say, we're going to provide a better, safer experience for your children.
Oh yeah, that's going down. Oh, let's get some rocks back.
Health can change in a minute. So CVS Health is changing healthcare, making it more accessible and affordable. With walk-in medical care, no appointments needed, and most insurance accepted. Minute Clinic, another innovation from CVS Health. Because health is everything.
So at St. Vincent Sports Performance, whether we're talking about Olympic athletes or middle school and high school athletes, the foundation is the same. We want to remove dysfunction and then build upon their sport-specific movements to allow them to function at a very high level on and off the field.
Well, these USA teams, both the U15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and this select team, a lot of people want to know, how do you get on these teams, Doug? And, well, you do so first by going to one of the regional development camps. There you see some of the upcoming dates. They start as soon as, well, 3 weeks from now. On the 21st and 22nd of February, they'll be in Phoenix, Arizona, and Austin, Texas, just about 3 hours south of here. And then the following weekend, the 28th of February until March 1st, those 2 days, it'll be in Los Angeles, California, and Tampa, Florida, Houston, Texas, and Jacksonville on the 7th and 8th of March. They take a week off. Then the 21st and 22nd, they'll be in the Bay Area out in California, San Francisco, Oakland, that whole deal. And then right here in Dallas, Texas as well, Washington, D.C., and Charlotte, North Carolina will be coming up the following weekend, the 28th and 29th of March. And then, as you can see here, some of the rest of the dates coming up for some of the regional development camps around the country: Mission Viejo, Nashville, Boston, Atlanta, Chicago, Kansas City, Seattle, all on the slate of places. Of course, also the Jersey City camp to be determined, the date for that one still. Of course, those regional development camps are brought to you in partners with the Sports Authority. And while we talk about some of those regional development camps, why don't we take a look back at some of the highlights from, well, the fruits that those camps come across and some of the Jamboree games from last season.
Hello and welcome to the USA Football Jamboree live from AT&T Stadium. Back to pass, wide open in the end zone, touchdown USA. Sweep to the outside and an excellent defensive play. Dive up the middle, but there he is again, Colton Beebe. Ferguson with an excellent throw to DeJohn Rogers. And that is complete down the sideline. Play fake, Aponte to his right. Beautiful pass, catch at the 5, into the end zone, touchdown Lynch. Coming through the backfield and causing a fumble. It is scooped up by Team USA, and it will go all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Ryan Wheaton. And down the right sideline, Kamari Murray, the 5'10", 150-pound receiver from Bishop McNamara High School in White Plains, Maryland, for the touchdown.
Made it with some room to run. He's got it, only the kicker to beat. Cuts it to the outside, the kicker dives, he keeps his feet in bounds, and Maiden's gonna run this one into the end zone.
Nelson at the 11. Nelson is off to the races and will not be caught.
Watch out. It looks like we're going in fast forward, ladies and gentlemen. That is true to life speed from Charles Nelson.
USA looking for some final punctuation on tonight's win over Canada.
Football has become vitally important to America, to who we are as a nation, who we are as a people, a culture, what makes us who we are, what makes this country great.
Football is the greatest team game of all. How many times do you get knocked down and you have to get back up? Life is like that.
Football is the greatest teacher of life values that I know anything about.
Football is passion, it's precision, it's playmaking.
I love this sport. I want this sport to thrive. This sport has meant the world to me. It's been everything. Every single thing that I've ever eaten in my life or stitch of clothes I've ever put on is because of football.
Football is such a great sport. It teaches so many different things. I mean, guys come through it, kids, teamwork, self-discipline, courage. It takes courage to play this sport.
I mean, it's a team thing all the way. So we used to say, hey, if you see a turtle sitting up on the fence post, you just remember one thing. He didn't get there by himself. My goodness, somebody put him up there.
I can tell you everything that my youth coach taught me today
and I'm 55 years old. And so, is there an influence? Absolutely. You're the first one in the door, they're going to remember you.
You have these young men at a perfect time in their lives, so it's way bigger than football.
I can't stress it enough how important the impact that you as a youth football coach can have on a young person. Because those coaches are the most important people in those young people's lives right now.
The reason I am in football today, and a lot of the values that I have and I share with my team are values I learned from my coach.
You're the one they look up to, you're the one they respect. So be really, really careful how you act, what you do, and what you say.
The role of the coach and the role of youth football and middle school football, high school football is vital.
Football is life to me. It's a lifestyle. It's being around young people, making their lives hopefully better on and off the field.
It's not about you as a coach. It's about what you do as a coach to help others become better in their lives. And I think that's what a great coach is able to do.
Portions of this broadcast are brought to you by Marriott, the official hotel partner of USA Football and USA National teams. And also portions are brought to you by Field Turf. Field Turf is the official field building grant partner of USA Football. With that being said, let's take a look at the halftime recap brought to you by Sports Authority. And Doug, for the USA team, it was Scotty Forbes and Braylon Crawford really being the ones that shouldered the load on offense.
And it was really one drive. Scotty Forbes and Braylon Crawford came in on the third possession for Team USA and were able to march the ball downfield. They answered a score that the international team had put on the board moments before with the running back Anton Wagan, but Forbes with that 1-yard touchdown run evened things up. Crawford had an excellent possession there as he was able to come up with some big catches and runs to move the ball downfield. I think we'll see more of them in the second half, but Team USA certainly knows they're in a football game as they are getting everything they want from this international team. You take a look at this touchdown from Forbes, bounced off an initial hit and was able to muscle his way into the end zone for the TD.
Yeah, also that one even bigger coming up there on a 4th down conversion, which was the second one of those on the drive. Also for the IFAF team, well, you saw Anton Wagan, 7 carries, 47 yards, including his touchdown today. And, well, he's been doing an excellent job on the ground when he's been getting the room to do so.
Yeah, and we talked about this in the first half. He was not able to run the football up the middle between the tackles, but when he went to the outside, especially to the left, he was able to put some big runs on the board. He had a 14-yard carry and a touchdown run that was about a 10-yard run, so he was able to do some good things when he was finding the outside running lane. We'll see if the USA team does anything to adjust for that in the second half.
And we certainly will see. If you'd like to become a part of the conversation, you can head up USA Football on social media, both at the tags at USA Football and USNFT. On Instagram, they're at USA_football. And also, you can search the hashtag IB2015 to see what everyone has been tweeting. It was great to see earlier in the week everyone getting in on the planes, coming in, getting their uniforms, all that stuff going up on social media. It's been a real fun follow. If you haven't been keeping up, start to do so, because to see the excitement of the kids on both of these sides really is something else.
Now, it's all about the experience, and you really get a feel for that experience when you follow this program on social media at USA Football, and also the hashtag IB2015, IB Bowl 2015. It's a neat event for the two, not only the two programs that are represented here, the international program, which includes the Canadian football program, which we'll see a lot of the rest of the day this afternoon, but also the USA football program. And there are so many options out there these days for kids. It's fun to be able to come and be a part of something that they really get passionate about, really get involved in, like this Team USA football program. Mexico represented well, and their quarterback, Carlos Fernandez, had a really nice first half, led the team on one scoring drive. We'll see if we see him to begin the second half as well.
I certainly wouldn't see any reason to take him out of the game at this point with the way that he has been performing. It'll be the IFAF team getting the ball to start this second half, as they won the toss and chose to defer getting the ball until this second half. Shunpei Fujikawa is back to receive along with Dalvin Solberger on this kick, which will be coming away off the foot of Austin Vanover from Owensboro, Kentucky, plays at Davies County High School. Vanover's kick is a knuckleball that takes a couple of hops and ends up rolling out of bounds, and so a penalty here on the illegal procedure kick out of bounds. So good starting field position for the IFAF team when we come back from this break, the start of half number 2.
Some people have to travel for work. Some people get to travel for work.
Free Wi-Fi! Pretty sweet! Hey, you look like you could use a pick-me-up. You want a macchiato? I think we can expense it.
Sometimes it's the little things that make a big difference. Courtyard, make room for a little fun.
I'd love to get a round of golfing while we're out here. Did you bring your sticks?
I welcome you back to AT&T Stadium. Joe Vasile alongside Doug Anderson here at game 1 of 4 that we'll be bringing you today of the International Bowl. In the first play here in the second half, Fernandez keeps it off the read option and ends up getting dragged down after a minimal gain by Tyler Huff.
Well, Fernandez made a nice sell to Wagon, the running back, but Huff was quick into the backfield and was able to come up with the play. Bryce Olivo also looked to be in there for Team USA.
Well, they're going to say that Fernandez lost a yard that time, so working out of the pistol, it'll be 2nd and 11. Looks to throw over to the right quickly, and the pass is complete. And a good pickup there through the air for the IFAF team. Coming up with the grab that time was Shirue Kutsusa.
Kutsusa ran a nice route, looked back for his quarterback just in time, picked up the first down, and the international team picking up where they left off after that first half, able to move the ball pretty well against this Team USA defense.
So 1st down and 10 coming up for the IFAF team. Ball on the 45-yard line. Shotgun again for Fernandez. 3 wide receivers lined up to the left. A handoff up the middle to Wagon this time. He scoops forward for a gain of 2 yards. We've been saying IFAF a whole lot today. In case you're wondering what it stands for, seeing it there on the bottom of your screen, it stands for the International Federation of American Football, with 67 member countries across 7 regions across the globe, member countries on all continents except Antarctica.
There's not a whole lot of anything down there.
Yeah, I think they got some scientists and polar bears, maybe?
Yeah.
Or are they mostly just up north?
Don't have a lot of time for football. I think the polar bear is a North Pole thing more than a South Pole thing. But, hey, I've never been there, so.
Fernandez completes a pass to Hirioshi right up to midfield. So it'll be 3rd down and 4 from the 49-yard line as the ball has been moved into Team USA territory. They need to come up with a stop here on defense.
In the United States, we typically think of sports being imported, such as soccer, of course, and other sports that have made their way to the United States. But we forget sometimes that our sports can get exported as well, and football is one that is being exported around the globe and taking on increasing popularity.
Fernandez with a pass to the outside and another 1st down pickup. That time it was Marcus Stinger Olsen coming up with the grab to move the chains, and another good start here for the IFAF team. Very similar to their first drive in the first half, just very methodical and picking up small chunks of yardage.
I just like the fact that they're keeping things simple. They're not trying to do anything too fancy. They're sticking with basic bread and butter kind of offensive plays, and it's working for them. They're getting where they need to be, which is downfield, moving the chains.
We saw in that first half, then they used that to kind of open up some things later on in the half. Looks like getting right back to that, like you said here. Little handoff up the middle for Wagon. He gets a gain of about a yard, so it'll be 2nd down and long coming up.
Wagon has proved to be a workhorse this afternoon for the IFAF team. He's one of 5 Austrians on this squad. European contingent very strong, as you have players from Austria, Belgium, Italy, Denmark, just to name a few of the countries that are here represented in this event.
It certainly is great to see. We mentioned it a little bit earlier, 27 different countries, including the United States and Canada, with one player each represented on this IFAF roster. Dropping back, looking to pass, Fernandez fires a pass incomplete. That time looking for the flag for the interference, but not getting it was going to be Katsusa.
Jordan Henson broke up the play. Defensive back out of Ashburn, Virginia. Had 38 tackles last season. And interesting note about Henson, he's an avid rock collector. So maybe a future archaeologist or something for Jordan Henson.
You know, I never could quite get into rock collecting.
The only thing they were ever good for me was for throwing them, and that usually got me in trouble. So,
well, as long as you didn't do it in any glass houses, I think you're fine. Fernandez to pass, under pressure, and he is going to go down. Sacked that time by the flag bearer, Devin Woodson.
Well, Devin Woodson has been a big part of this ball game this afternoon. He's had a couple of sacks in the game. The 6-foot defensive lineman from Clemson, South Carolina. Played at D.W. Daniel High School.
So that'll bring up 4th down and 9. Team USA is sending their punt return unit out. And it looks like after some deliberation, the IFAF team will send their punting unit out as well. Once again, it'll be Koki Narita, a wide receiver to punt things here as Team USA gets set up to try and block it. Won't be able to as it's a spiraling kick that goes out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. We'll see where they officially mark it down at the 15-yard line. And so, well, we've seen Narita with a couple of good coffin corner drills here in this game.
And he's nailed it inside the 20 a couple of times, giving the USA team some poor field position. We'll see who Team USA brings out at quarterback here.
And we certainly will, and we'll take a step aside first here on ESPN3.
Some people have to travel for work.
Hi there! Looks like you've had a long day. Pull up a crate.
Some people get to travel for work.
Really looking forward to this spinach salad. It's got quinoa in it.
Sometimes it's the little things that make a big difference. Courtyard, make room for a little fun.
It's wireless. You like reggae?
We welcome you back inside AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, but today the home of the USA Football International Bowl. It's the IFAF team going up against the USA Select team. We're all knotted up at 7, Doug, in what's been a very tight contest so far.
And good defensive play from both teams this afternoon. Only 7 points, 1 score for each squad.
And, of course, parts of this broadcast are brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card partner of USA Football and the USA national teams. And also by Volt Athletic as well, the official strength and conditioning solutions partner of the USA national team. First play here. There's a run for the Select team that gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a yard. So it'll bring up 2nd and 9 as that was TJ Green back in the game, handing off to Braylon Crawford.
TJ Green started the game. He did not pass the first pass of the game. That was Tommy Carr, but Green was in at receiver on that play. And now Green in at quarterback for his second crack at it. Didn't move the ball very effectively on his first attempt, but we'll see if Green's able to find some receivers and make something happen this time around.
Shotgun for Green. He keeps it here on the option and took it up the middle for a gain of 2. That'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
TJ Green has, of course, had to live with some high expectations. That comes with being the son of a former NFL player. He's the son of Trent Green, former Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. He's had some accomplishments in his own right. Missouri Player of the Year this past season.
See what he's able to do here on 3rd down and 7. He's got 3 wide receivers lined up to his right. They motion Crawford out of the backfield. He drops back, looks to pass, and fires high and incomplete, intended for Brian Nichols. Wide receiver out of Strasburg, Colorado. That'll bring up 4th down, and on comes the punting unit for the Select team.
A quick 3 and out for the Select team for Team USA, and that's not the way they wanted to start things here in the second half offensively. We're hoping to move the ball a little bit better. Green on that pass had his receiver in an open position, but was just a little high on the pass. Nichols at 6'3", even as tall as he is, couldn't pull it down.
Tommy Carr, the quarterback, in to punt things away for the Select team. It's a high snap. It goes over the top of Carr's head, and he'll just boot this one out of the back of the end zone and take the safety. And boy, I was just about to mention how you could start to feel the momentum shifting in favor of the IFAF team, and that right there, I think, really solidified things right now in their favor.
Oh, yeah, that's a big momentum boost for the international team. Bad snap high over the head of Tommy Carr, and he had no choice but to kick the ball out of the end zone. 2 points for the international team as they take a 9-7 lead.
And it certainly is, well, something that you can recover from. There's still a lot of football left to play in this one, but, well, going 3 and out now, having the safety after a sustained drive to open up the second half by the IFAF team. And what do you got to do right now if you're Rocky Yeager? First of all, saying to the defense to, keep doing what you're doing and holding them. You're bending but not breaking, but as far as the offense when they're on the sideline here on this next possession, and just get them going a little bit.
I think you have to kind of do what the international team has done to a certain degree, and that is keep things basic and do what works. What has worked in this ball game for Team USA has been the short dump-off pass to Braylon Crawford. They really haven't established much in the running game. It would be nice to see them do that here in the remainder of this game, but you have to start finding things that work and have worked in this game so far and go back to that and ride it. And as far as your defense is concerned, you do tell them, just keep doing what you're doing, because this defense has played well in this ball game, and perhaps maybe they can make a play, get the ball back for Team USA.
And so far, of course, USA's only touchdown has been scored with Scotty Forbes in a quarterback. You expect to see a lot more out of him on the upcoming drives.
Yeah, I would think so. The Forbes moved this team in a way that no other quarterback has in the ball game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him make an appearance on the next possession.
Vanover will kick it deep here on the safety kick, and it's fielded up at the 31-yard line and taken across out all the way to the 49 by Fujikawa.
And Fujikawa with a nice return, and that gives the IFAF team some really nice field position to work with as we see Fernandez lead the team on the field again.
And we've seen, well, as far as the IFAF team, they just stuck with Fernandez at quarterback, just going with just the one. They've got about 7 quarterbacks on the roster, but they've stuck with just Fernandez, who we didn't really see in the Jamboree at all. They were cycling in a bunch of other guys, at least on the half of the field that we were covering. And it's easy to see why they were saving Fernandez, I guess, a little bit for game action here today. Takes a snap off the play action, fires it up the seam, and incomplete. Had time for Solberger, it looked like.
And threw it behind Solberger, who has had a couple of big catches in this game. That time, Fernandez trying to fire it his way, threw it behind him.
So it'll now be 2nd down and 10 from the 49-yard line. 5 minutes, 38 seconds left on the stopped clock here in this third quarter. What am I saying?
You get those metric system numbers in your head.
Yeah, that's what it is. Fernandez swings it out to the right. Pass incomplete for the running back, Christopher Brayton Delgado.
It's fun to look at the international roster, and they don't list height, they list length.
Yeah,
and
in centimeters.
A tall player is about 180, 190 centimeters, and your weight in kilograms, I would imagine, 83, 85, 77. So a little bit jarring when you're used to the American way of doing things to see the metric system, which, of course, is primarily used internationally.
Yeah, I think the United States is one of the last bastions of the old system. I think we tried to switch over to the metric system at some point, and it just didn't go very well. Fernandez to pass, and it is complete, and that's going to be a first down pickup through the air to Gondra.
Simon Gondra was the player that Fernandez went for in the corner of the end zone there at the end of the first half. It was an incomplete pass, but here he picks up the pass and picks up a first down as well.
James Estes was the player on the select team who helped to bring him down, but first down pickup for the World team as they continue their march down the field against the select team. They bring it back up to the line here. Pistol formation again for Fernandez. He hails from the country of Mexico. Handoff goes up the middle. That time it was Wagan going forward for a gain of about 2.5.
Tackled from VK Talimai from Tracy, California. Played at West High School.
So it'll be second down and 8 coming up here for the IFAF team. Taking their time in the huddle, allowing plenty of time to tick off the clock. Still just a 2-point game, though. Now with about 16.5 minutes of total football left to go. Still very much anyone's game, but the IFAF team has seized the momentum here in this second half. Fernandez to pass, throws it off to the right and incomplete. That time the pass perhaps a little bit disturbed by Reg Hills II coming in off the outside.
Reg Hills, one of the more experienced players on this national select team, played at Union Fork Military Academy, also from Geneva College, so he's a guy that has some experience at different levels of football, and he made a nice play on the passer that time to force an errant pass from Fernandez.
Well, that's the thing with this select team I have to touch on a little bit. They've got a wide age range of players. There's not necessarily just under 15, under 16. They've got some guys still in high school, and of course Hills, who's in college already, as they try a little dump-off pass into the flat for Wagan. And it comes up a little short, fourth down.
Hills again, who made Fernandez feel the pressure, brought the heat to him, hit him as he threw the ball and forced a bad pass. And now it's fourth down for the international team. And the defense has done it again for Team USA.
And really couldn't ask for much more out of this defense. They allowed the touchdown on, I believe it was the second drive for the IFAF team. And since then, they have been pretty much spotless. Haven't allowed them to score any points when they've had the ball on offense. They've given up some yards, but pretty much once they've gotten about that 35-yard line, things have started to stall out a little bit for the IFAF team as a flag comes in.
And penalty.
Yep.
Substitution infraction.
So that'll give the IFAF team a couple of extra yards here. Maybe make this one a little bit more of an interesting decision. Now with the ball on the 31-yard line, that's far too short to punt, you'd imagine, and looks like they're going to take the punting unit off. So now the question becomes, do you try the long field goal when you've already seen your kicker leave a 37-yarder short, or you just keep the offense on there and have them try and convert?
I think you bring the offense onto the field. If I'm coaching the international team, that's what I do, but it looks to me like they might be lining up for a chance to go for it here.
Yeah, Fernandez is out there on the field. They'll spread it out, and we'll see what they go with on fourth down and 3 from the 31. Pistol formation for Fernandez. Quick throw, and that pass is batted up in the air and almost intercepted, but who else? But it was Hills getting his hands on that one.
Boy, Hills, 3 big plays in a row for the select team for Team USA. He pressured Fernandez twice, and that time just batted the ball out of midair to force a fourth down failure for the EFAF team. That's terrific play from Reginald Hills, who, as we mentioned, has been around the block a little bit, now in college, but boy, what an active player. 5'11", 200-pounder from Bowie, Maryland.
Yeah, Hills going up that time looking like J.J. Watt, swatting that pass down. One of those guys that he actually says he looks up to, so making a lot like his idol on that play. Coming up with the big turnover on downs. Now it's Scotty Forbes back in at quarterback. Handoff goes to Crawford. He's got the edge to the 35. 40 first down for the select team, and they'll get quickly back to the line of scrimmage.
This was the combination that worked for the select team in the first half. Their only touchdown came when Forbes and quarterback and Crawford was in the backfield, and we see them jumpstart this offense again with a nice play to start this drive.
Forbes out of the shotgun once again, with Crawford in the backfield. Crawford takes the handoff, gets across the line of scrimmage, gets met there, stays on his feet, and goes down after picking up about a yard. They're trying to punch that ball out where some of the world team defense, remember he had the fumble earlier on in the game, but that time good ball security by Crawford as we take another look at that one.
And tackled on the play by Ricardo Langley for the IFAF team.
So 2nd down and 9 upcoming. 3 minutes just about remain here in the third quarter. 9-7, the score in favor of the IFAF team. Forbes takes the snap, fires one off to the left on a now screen. It's caught there by Quez Henson, but then he got met immediately as he looked to turn it up the field. No gain on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 9.
Quez Henson from Colbert, Georgia, played at Athens Christian High School, and he's one of the guys that comes in with some pretty gaudy numbers from last year. 120 carries for 1,185 yards. He averaged almost 10 yards a carry last year in high school.
That's a pretty nice luxury if you're a coach to say, well, if we give it a Quez, we're going to pick up a first down. Shotgun for Forbes. Takes a snap, drops back on 3rd and long. Fires it over the middle of the field, and that one is complete to Brian Nichols. And it's a first down into IFAF territory for the USA team.
Easily the best passing play that Team USA has had this afternoon. Forbes, with time, looked over the field, found Nichols. And Nichols is a big target at 6'3", able to pick up the first down.
Forbes will work out of the shotgun here, firmly planted right in the middle of the star. It's a low snap. He's able to recover, picks it up, decides to keep it himself up the middle. And he gets up to the 40-yard line. Pickup of a couple that time for Forbes. Using his legs smartly that time after we just saw the arm on display on the last play.
Well, Scotty Forbes has moved this offense this afternoon, and that's been the one guy that you can point to and say, hey, Team USA's been effective when he's been calling the shots. And I think that if you're Rocky Hager, there's your guy to bring this team down the stretch anyway. I think you might see some other guys rotated in, but they'll look back to Forbes.
Handoff goes to Crawford up the middle. And he gets up to about the 35-yard line. That's going to be enough, I believe, to move the chains. Now they're going to mark him a little bit short. Need to get just beyond the 35. They got him down right at the 35. So it'll be 3rd and inches. Coming up here. Forbes in the empty set, takes it himself, and he's going to pick up the first down and more across to the 30. Dragged down at the 29-yard line. It's a good tackle made that time by Sjoerd Vandermeer.
That time, Forbes' simple zone read took the snap, saw what was ahead of him, was able to find a seam between the tackles and push that ball across for the first down.
And, you know, that looked to be the identical play that Team USA ran when they were on the goal line in that 4th and 1 situation that Forbes ended up taking into the end zone, and a very similar result that time. Got up to the line, kind of bounced off it, and then took it around the right side. Forbes out of the shotgun, drops back, looks to pass, fires it over to the left, and that one's caught. And heading into the end zone is going to be Quez Henson. He reached the football out, and they're going to say he got it over. Touchdown, USA. Quez Henson with the catch and run, 29 yards into the end zone. And the select team has taken the lead here, 13-9.
Well, Henson was able to find an open space. No defenders within about 6-7 yards, and he used his speed to do the rest. You'll take a look at it on the replay here. Henson just gets behind the coverage. Nobody's around him. And then he's able to run it the rest of the way in for the TD. Henson, as we talked about before, over 1,000 yards last season in his high school campaign. Big play there.
Yeah, and that 29-yard hookup is the shock doctor play of the game. So we got a whistle and a false start penalty here on the extra point attempt. So that'll back the select team up 5 yards and make it essentially a 25-yard field goal. Now that Austin Vanover is going to have to kick. Try and make this one a 5-point game. Forbes to hold, snap high, gets it down, kick up, end over end, it's good. 14-9 now the score in favor of the select team, and we'll take a step aside here on ESPN3.
We play for this. It's our country. This our sport. They gonna keep getting up. They gonna keep knocking it down. They gonna get back out. So we're to play, man. I die for my country. I die for all y'all. I die for my family. All them here to watch me.
We welcome you back into AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Joe Vasile alongside Doug Anderson here with you on ESPN3 for USA Football's International Bowl. Game 1 of 4 today featuring the U.S. Select Team up against the IFAF World Team. And Doug, if this game is any indication of what we're in store for today, it's going to be an excellent day of football.
Well, it is indeed, because this is just the beginning, and you've got some excellent under 16, under 15 teams heading your way for Team USA and Team Canada, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun the rest of the way through. But so far we've got what is a very suspenseful game going on here in this first one.
Fujikawa returns the kick here from the 15-yard line, brings it across the 25. So a good return before he's brought down at about the 28-yard line. Decent field position for the IFAF team to start things off, as that will also draw this third quarter to a close. So we'll switch sides, and we will be back on the other side of this with the conclusion of this one. It's sure to be a good one. 14-9 in favor of Team USA.
Some people have to travel for work.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Some people get to travel for work.
I'm video chatting with my parents. They just moved down to Boca.
Honey, can you see us?
Sometimes it's the little things that make a big difference. Courtyard. Make room for a little fun.
Oh, that's the look of someone whose phone is at 4%. Want to plug in? I'm all charged up.
At the NFL and at USA Football, we care. We care about your kids. We share the same concerns. We're on your team. Heads Up Football is an incredible program, and when you join with USA Football and you see what they're doing and your league is affiliated, that's the stamp of approval that you're going to have a coach that knows what he's doing, a kid who's learning the proper technique, equipment that fits, so that your child is truly playing a better, safer game.
We welcome you back inside AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys in Arlington, Texas, nestled almost right in between Dallas and Fort Worth. My name is Joe Vasile alongside Doug Anderson, set for the fourth quarter of this Team USA Select Team and the IFAF World Team. Team USA just scored to take their first lead of this one with 7 seconds left in the third. Now the IFAF team will try and respond. They haven't scored since their second drive of this game, Doug.
And it's been a challenge against this Select Team defense, no question about it. The defense has only given up the one scoring drive. Since then, the international team had a hard time moving the ball.
Option play to the outside. They pitch it, and looks like picking up a first down for the IFAF team was Jack Martin out of a land down under in Australia.
First time we've seen Fernandez really run the option, and a new wrinkle for the international offense there as Fernandez was able to pitch the ball to Martin, and Martin did a nice job to almost pick up the first down. Went out just shy, bringing up second down and only inches for this international team.
Pistol again for Fernandez. He's been very comfortable working out of that set all day long. Martin in the backfield. They throw a backwards pass to him, slips one tackle, and then gets brought down for a loss of a couple. That time he was eventually cleaned up by Carter McClellan. The linebacker coming up to make the stop. As we take another look at the replay, man initially getting in the backfield was James Estes.
Great play by the select team for Team USA. Carter McClellan is one of the many players on this select team that was a team captain of his high school team. You look down the roster, there's probably 10 to 15 guys on this select team that were team captains on their high school, and that shows you the kind of leadership that you have on the field this afternoon for Team USA.
Coming in hard as Fernandez was getting ready to throw that pass was Jason Magnani, and he disrupted it as it ended up falling incomplete. He got his hands up, forcing Fernandez to throw it in a direction that he didn't want to. So that'll bring up 4th down now and 4. And that'll bring the punting unit out for the IFAF team. So a big 3 and out brought up here by the U.S. select team.
What I like is so many different players stepping up for the select team. On the previous possession for the IFAF team, it was Reginald Hills who had some big plays. This time around, McNanny getting in on a big play. So different guys stepping up for the select team.
Good punt here, but Knuckles is going to camp underneath it and try and return it, and gets a couple of yards after he was able to field the punt that time. So now Team USA will get the ball back, and we'll see who they end up throwing out there at quarterback. No indication yet.
Well, I would
imagine it would be Forbes.
I think if Coach Rocky Hager is thinking about winning this football game, then yeah, Scotty Forbes will be the guy that comes out for the select team. If he's content to stick with a rotation, it might change, but right now I think we see number 5, Forbes, getting ready to come back out on the field, and really that makes sense. He's earned the right to come back out there on the field because he's the only guy that has led the Team USA on a scoring drive this afternoon.
Yeah, that's certainly not to take anything away from TJ Green or Tommy Carr, but they've just been outshone today by Scotty Forbes, and I'd like to shine a light on Siege Sports while we have the opportunity, the official uniform provider of the U.S. national teams, and also Physio Control, which is the official AED provider of USA football. And I got to tell you, these uniforms out there on the field, of course, provided by Siege Sports, those are some sharp-looking uniforms that Team USA's got.
They look great and, of course, very patriotic, as you would expect, being Team USA. You've got red, white, and blue well represented, and I think the kids really enjoy those uniforms as well. They have really been talking about it on social media, how much they enjoy putting on that jersey.
And speaking of social media, if you'd like to get in on the conversation as well, you can use the hashtag IB2015. Also follow USA Football at USA Football on both Twitter and Instagram. A lot of great pictures been going up from both on the field and off all weekend long. They'll hand it off to Crawford here on 1st down. He was going to cut to the outside, came back to the middle, ends up picking up 7 yards. So a good run after the cutback that time by Crawford.
And Braylon Crawford has been the feature back, especially when Scotty Forbes has been in at quarterback, and those two have worked well together this afternoon. Crawford with another nice run here as he makes a nifty cutback toward the middle of the field to pick up extra yardage.
So now 2nd down and about 3 for the select team. Forbes out of the shotgun again. 2 wide receivers to either side. Crawford in the backfield with him. Drops back, looks to pass, uses the pump fake, now goes deep looking for Quez Henson and off of his fingertips. Oh, Quez Henson had the defender beat, and the pass was just about 2 inches out of his grasp that time.
And Henson was pointing to himself, coming back to the huddle saying that's on him. I think he just misjudged the pass a little bit because it looked like he pulled up on his route. We'll see it right here as he kind of stutter steps a little bit, just pulling up short. I think he might have misjudged that pass a little bit. If he'd have been in full stride, I think he would have caught that ball and it would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, but a good job also on the pump fake by Forbes as he faked the bubble screen to Ricky Knuckles initially, which was what allowed Henson to spring loose down the field. Shotgun again. They fake the handoff, and it's going to be a keeper for Forbes. It's crossed the 45-yard line. Picked up a couple of yards there. It'll bring up 4th and short. And it looks like Team USA is going to be content to punt this one away with the 5-point lead.
I was just about to say that it looked like Team USA's offense was starting to gain some confidence and really try to take some shots, but fourth down now, you have to turn the ball back over, you punt it away. But I think what they do have confidence in is their defense being able to give them the ball back, and that's been the case so far this afternoon.
Carr will punt this one away for Team USA. He gets off a low line drive kick, and it's fair caught at the 21-yard line by Carl Akey.
Well, if you're the international team, now you start to think about just what it's going to take to be effective down the stretch, final 9 minutes of this football game. They looked so good on that second possession of the game. Early on, they scored, take the lead. Starting off the third quarter, picking up a safety to take a 9-7 lead. But now they've seen Team USA come back, score a touchdown to take a lead, and look good defensively as well. And it's up to the international team's offense to really put something together here. And they haven't done that since the first quarter of this game.
Fernandez on the play action, rolls out and throws a pass, and it is just flat out dropped that time. That was Houston Noema, who's normally a linebacker, going out on the pass pattern that time for the IFAF team, and he just had it in his hands and let it slip away.
And Fernandez did a nice job to roll out on the pass, hit Noema in the hands, but Noema unfortunately could not hold on to it. Noema from New Zealand, one of two New Zealanders on this international roster.
Fernandez with a handoff. No, he pulls it back on the read option. Now takes it himself on the outside. He's tripped up after a gain of about 5 yards. So good job that time by Fernandez on the read option to keep it himself and boot it around the outside before he got tripped up by Tony Talbert.
I really think this is a big third down play for the international team, as they have got to avoid another 3 and out. They need a first down, if nothing else, to keep their momentum going, keep this drive alive. Not saying that they'll score if they pick up a first down, but at least they would hold on to the football, and that would give them a chance.
3rd down and 5, 8 minutes and 3 seconds left on the running clock. Fernandez out of the pistol, looks to pass, fires it to the left side. He's got a man open, and there he goes down the sideline. Nicholas Kenz, he's at the 15, one last chance, and he's in for the touchdown. 74 yards, and just like that, the IFAF team has regained the lead.
They do, and Nicholas Kenz throws up the Des Bryant X as he hits the end zone to celebrate the touchdown. A huge play for the IFAF team. Kenz down that far sideline, streaking away from the USA defender, and Fernandez hit him with a beautiful pass.
Yeah, and give Malik Charles, who was in pursuit that time, credit for not giving up on that one, trying to make the last-ditch diving effort to come up with a tackle at the 9-yard line. But he was just a little bit short of making the shoestring tackle. And what a play that time by Kuhns.
Well, it just looked like the international team was about to go 3 and out again. They were struggling offensively, couldn't put anything together, and with one play, momentum changes.
And we've got a timeout down on the field. We'll take it with them. Back with more on ESPN3.
Oh yeah, that's going down. Oh, yeah, let's get some rocks back.
Health can change in a minute. So CVS Health is changing healthcare, making it more accessible and affordable. With walk-in medical care, no appointments needed, and most insurance accepted. Minute Clinic, another innovation from CVS Health. Because health is everything.
We welcome you back inside AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. And well, after some deliberation by the IFAF team. They're going to go for two and try and make this a 3-point game here after the 74-yard touchdown. They fire one up to the back of the end zone, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Dalvin Solberger. Some of the international fans looking for a flag on that, but they're not going to get one. So we'll take a look on the replay.
There is a flag down in the end zone. It's concealed between the Y and the S of Cowboys.
So they do throw the flag for defensive holding, so they will retry the 2-point conversion attempt.
Big bit of strategy here for the IFAF team as they try to make this a 3-point game.
Fernandez from the pistol. Option play to the outside. They pitch it, heading to the pylon and in for the score is Noema.
Now there is another penalty flag down, and this time it might be going against the IFAF team.
Check that was Martin who was the one who ran it in. But we will see who the penalty is against, of course, to see if this one stands. And that is, in fact, going to be a holding penalty going against the World team. That'll back them up 10 yards and now make it a little bit more of a difficult 2-point conversion opportunity.
I think the logic is sound in going for two, and I think you still go for two, even though you're backed up to the 10-yard line. 1 point doesn't do you any good in a 15-14 ball game, so why not try to stretch it out?
Fernandez out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to either side. Takes the snap, drops back, looks to fire up in the end zone, and incomplete. Breaking up the pass that time was James Estes.
James Estes, a Texan from Whitney High School in Whitney, Texas. First team all-district at linebacker, 124 tackles this past season, and a big play there to break up the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, certainly, and that makes it so now that a field goal for USA would give them the potential to give them the lead rather than just at least tie the game up. But of course, field goal is not what they've got on their mind. They've got touchdown on their mind as well as they should.
Well, they did a nice job responding to the last IFAF touchdown in the first quarter. When IFAF scored, Team USA came right back and scored as well. We'll see if they can respond in kind after this touchdown. And it's up to Team USA to do just that. Now you start thinking about things, though, like field goals and different strategies with 7:46 left in the game. It's kind of like any all-star game. You look at it in the NBA all-star game, for example. Everybody's just running up and down the floor for the first 3.5 quarters of the game, trying to score, look great. But then in that final 6 or 7 minutes, they get it serious, and they start playing some defense and trying to win. And I think that's kind of similar to what we're going to see here down the stretch.
Kicking it deep for the IFAF team is their running back, Anton Wagen. We've seen him do all of the place kicking in this game. It's a short little chip shot. It's going to be taken from about the 23-yard line by Jonathan Leonard Jr. He breaks it free here across the 40, still on his feet, stays in bounds, and gets dragged down at the 45. So good starting field position here for Team USA.
Just what they needed, and Leonard with a terrific return. One of the Californians representing Team USA from Caramillo, California, Rio Mesa High School. And a big return to put Team USA in great field position. Talking about that IFAF team with the touchdowns coming this afternoon from Anton Wagen and Nicholas Kenz, it's all Austrians that have scored for the IFAF team so far today.
Tommy Carr is now back in at quarterback for the national team. This is his first action in this second half, and they're going to hand it off to Jerry Brown Jr., who we haven't seen this half either. He gets across. Looks like he picked up a first down, but flags fly in at the end of the play. This one might be going against the defense, as the referees get together and huddle up and discuss what the call is going to be. We saw Jerry Brown back on the first drive for Team USA and haven't seen him since, mostly because, well, with Braylon Crawford doing what he was doing, you just ride him as long as you can.
Penalty is against the IFAF team, so a break for the select team in this possession. And, yeah, I think you're right. Brown kind of got put to the side by Crawford in his performance this afternoon. But one thing that does for you is it gives you a fresh set of legs here down the stretch. A guy that hasn't played a lot of the game will come in and have a burst of energy that perhaps somebody else might not.
Yeah, with Team USA being much more active in the substitution game than the IFAF team has been, that certainly just magnifies that a little bit because those guys are a lot more tired out there than even the USA players who have played the entire time.
Looking forward to seeing what Brown can do. He ran for 600 yards and 12 touchdowns during his varsity campaign a year ago.
Carr out of the gun. Fakes it to Brown, but first a whistle, flag down, and a false start is going to get called against Team USA. That'll back him up 5 yards. They're going to say the guilty party that time was Cole Moncton, the wide receiver. Got off to a little bit of an early start that time.
For the most part, a penalty-free football game. The officials letting the two teams play. That time a procedure penalty, though, for Team USA, and now they've got their work cut out for them, 1st and 15.
Carr out of the gun, like you said, 1st and 15 from the 35-yard line. They run the option here, and it's kept by Carr up the middle. He gained a yard, so that'll make it now 2nd down and looks like about 13.
Tommy Carr, one of those under-the-radar quarterbacks, not getting a lot of attention from college recruiters, even though he's 6'3", 220 pounds. Kind of guy that's just looking for a shot, somebody to give him a chance. And based on the way he's played this week, not just in today's ball game, but throughout the week at the Jamboree as well, you would think he's got some skills that college players, recruiters are looking for.
Takes a snap, throws back, fires a line drive pass to the outside, caught by Moncton. Going to be short of a 1st down, but a good pickup at time of about 10 yards. And, you just saw right there, as soon as you're saying it, a very good ball thrown by Carr.
A good pass to the near side of the field, and Cole Moncton with the reception gives Team USA a workable 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd down and 4 coming up here for Team USA. They need to get it to just inside the 20-yard line, down at the 19 to pick up the 1st. Carr working out of the shotgun. He's got Brown in the backfield with him. 2 receivers to either side. Fakes the handoff to Brown. Now gets flush from the pocket, rolls out to his right, and fires incomplete. Logan Paulson, the tight end, was the closest receiver in the area of that pass, but Carr just sailed that one a little bit high.
Carr got caught in the running game where he was trying to avoid the pursuit but still look downfield, find a man. He saw a receiver that he liked but was not able to put the touch on the ball to complete the pass. And now you've got a 4th down in which the select team really feels like they need to go for it here with 5:24 left in the game.
They are 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions so far in this game. Both of those, though, coming back in the 2nd quarter. Carr out of the gun, takes a snap, designed rollout to the right. He's looking to fire a pass up, gets it for Quez Henson, and it's incomplete. Good coverage down the field. That time for the international team by Maximilian Zangle.
Yeah, Maximilian Zangle was all over Henson on that play, and Henson just never had a chance at it as Carr looked his way. Good defensive play from the IFAF team, and now with a 1-point lead, they take over with just over 5 minutes left in this game, and if they can hold on to the football, they've got a chance to run the clock out.
Well, what Team USA has going for them has been their defense has been very good all day long. They're only down by 1 point, and they have all 3 timeouts remaining. So a couple of things playing in their favor. They just obviously have to make sure they don't give up another big play like they did on the last drive. Fernandez works out of the shotgun. Takes the snap, and he hands off and stuffed immediately in the backfield that time was Delgado.
Yeah, nice play from Trevor Bloom, the defensive lineman out of Escondido, California. 6'5", 255-pounder. Just wraps up the running back that time and swirls him to the turf. A huge momentum builder for the USA defense, as that's the way you start a possession, by coming up with a 5-yard loss.
Well, Rocky Hager at the College of New Jersey coached an All-American linebacker. He's very good as far as coaching the defensive side of the ball, and you can see that really translating on the field here today. Handoff goes up the middle, and stuffed once again. It was Delgado. That time making the hit was Adam Midland.
Midland, one of the big hitters on this select team defense, and we see it here as he put the pop on Wagon and knocked him to the turf.
So now a big 3rd down and 13 coming up here for the IFAF team. A stop for the select team would mean that they would have a very good chance to at least string a drive together to try and come away with a victory in this one, but they currently trail by 1. Fernandez takes the snap, drops back, looks to pass, fires over the middle, and incomplete. Pass intended for Olsen, and it was broken up in the defensive backfield by Jabron Webb.
Yeah, Jabron Webb, whose family is here today, supporting him. They've got signs over on the far side of the field. They're cheering for their young man, and he made a big play here to knock that ball down, bring up a long 4th down for the international team, and they have to give the ball up after a 3 and out. That's all you could ask for from Team USA's defense.
Yeah, and only about a minute and a half came off the clock, so they've got about 3 minutes, 49 seconds left to try and come away with a victory in this one. Once again, to punt, it'll be Narita. It is a low line drive kick, not pretty but effective, as it's picked up by Quez Henson at the 44. He takes it across midfield, slips a tackle to the 45, to the 40, inside the 40-yard line, and ripped down at the 38. What a return by Quez Henson.
Terrific return, and it sets Team USA up in great field position. Henson just using his speed and keeping his legs churning, takes a couple of hits, but is able to shake them off and went completely across field on that return to put the Team USA offense on the field in a great position.
They'll start with it on the 38-yard line. We'll check who the quarterback coming in. It's going to be Scotty Forbes.
And I don't think there would be any other question as to who would be a quarterback for this final, what could be the final drive for Team USA. This is crunch time. You want the guy that's done the best job for you in the game so far to be on the field, and that, without a doubt, has been Scotty Forbes.
Leyland Crawford is the running back in the backfield with Forbes, sidecar to his left. High snap, juggled by Forbes, but he's able to recover. He gives to Quez Henson on a quick screen, and Henson picks up a couple of yards on 1st down.
Now you've got a triple threat of players for Team USA. You've got Forbes, the quarterback, who's performed well, Crawford in the backfield, who's had a big day, and Henson, who's made some big plays at receivers. So you've got your best options out there offensively, and it's just up to the offense to execute, make it happen.
3 minutes and 4 seconds left as Forbes takes the shotgun snap. Handoff goes to Jerry Brown Jr. He gets across the 35-yard line. Looks like he's dragged down at the 34, pickup of a couple. And that'll bring up 3rd down and medium here. As there's some extracurricular activity. Looks like a player is down for Team USA. We'll take a step aside. Well, that's all being sorted out here on ESPN3.
When you get away from smartphones and video games and tablets, it's amazing what you can really plug into. This season, shop the brands you love, plus thousands of items on sale now. Sports Authority, all things sporting good.
So it's same this is sports performance, whether we're talking about Olympic athletes or middle school and high school athletes, the foundation is the same. We want to remove dysfunction and then build upon their sport-specific movements to allow them to function at a very high level on and off the field.
The icon of the game. The icon of competition. The icon of athleticism. The icon of fandom. The icon of the future. The future of football is now.
The player down was Deshaun Dixon. He got up and walked off the field on his own power. As Scotty Forbes takes the snap, juggles it, has to roll out to his right, and he hits a man downfield for a big first down. That was Brian Nichols, but a flag is down on the play, back around the line of scrimmage. It was thrown a little bit late, maybe a hold coming here against Team USA.
That would be the early indication, but it was actually a illegal shift or man downfield for Team USA. That will be the penalty against Team USA nonetheless. Counts for the same. Good to see Deshaun Dixon walk off under his own power. Young man that we were hoping to get a chance to talk about today, just recently committed to San Diego State University. Big offensive lineman at 6'6", 307 pounds, and a Texan out of Taft High School in San Antonio.
Now also said that it's a great honor to serve his country, just like his mother, who serves in the Air Force. Of course, we're very appreciative for her service, and of course everybody in the armed forces as well. Scotty Forbes going to take off running here on 3rd and long. He's going to pick up the penalty yardage back and get back to about the 33-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down and about 5 here for the select team. And they're going to take a timeout and talk over what play they want to draw up here for this one with just over 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, exactly. You're down to the crunch time of this ball game, 2 minutes and 2 seconds, and you're really outside of field goal range here. I would imagine that Vanover doesn't have the leg for this, so they have to go for it.
And we'll see exactly what they draw up right now on the other side of this.
What does it take to become elite? It takes more than dedication, focus, and hard work. It takes an elite-level training program. Customized, sport-specific, online. Your perfect workout every time. That's Volt Athletics.
Well, Team USA is all lined up and ready to go. IFAF just breaking their huddle right now. It's IFAF out to the 15-14 lead. Here with just over 2 minutes remaining in this one, and a big 4th down and 5 coming up for Team USA. Here is your ball game right here. Forbes takes the snap, drops back, looks to fire over the middle. Pass is tipped, incomplete, turnover on downs.
It was a good look from Forbes as he had a receiver running open on the seam, but the ball knocked away at the last minute. Richie Knuckles was the receiver for Team USA, and it looked like getting in there to knock it down was Lucas Ruas, who we've seen make a couple of plays this afternoon for the IFAF defense.
Yeah, Ruas coming here all the way from Switzerland to play for the IFAF team, and now they get the ball back. And you know, maybe I spoke a little too soon about it being the ball game, but 1:55 left, 2 timeouts still remaining for Team USA. A first down, more or less, could put this one to bed.
Well, when you look at the Team USA defense, they've forced a couple of 3-and-outs here on the last few possessions for the IFAF offense. So not out of the question that they could do a 3-and-out again with 2 timeouts. They do have a chance to get the ball back. So it's possible. Certainly it's not necessarily the best position that you would find yourself in, but it's definitely possible.
Certainly, and it'll be 1st and 15 now for IFAF as they got flagged for having too many men in the huddle. So Fernandez will work out of the pistol. Fakes the handoff, looks to throw here on 1st down, and that one is incomplete. Intended for Houston Noema.
That's the play that you want to start this drive off. An incomplete pass. Not only does it not gain any yardage, but it keeps the clock stopped at 1:50.
Yeah, are you surprised that they opted to pass it there on 1st down?
Well, I don't think they've had any kind of running game this afternoon. And so I think they feel like they have to go to the air in order to move the ball. But it does put yourself in a tough spot if you throw an incompletion.
So 2nd down and 15. 1:50 left on the stop clock. Fernandez, handoff to Martin, and he is stuffed in the backfield that time, stood up by Trevor Bloom.
And that's what we're talking about. Anytime the IFAF team is trying to run the football, Bloom's been there, other men have been there to bring them down, and they see it happen again. That time, Bloom was the leader of the charge, but Bryce Oliva was also in there to help bring him down.
Timeout was taken that time by Team USA. We'll take it with them. Here, 1:44 left. IFAF 15, USA 14.
We play for this. It's our country. It's our sport. Let them keep getting up. They gonna keep knocking it down. Let them get back out. Somewhere to play, man. I die for my country. I die for all y'all. I die for my family. All them here to watch me. Let them go.
We welcome you back into AT&T Stadium. Joe Vasile alongside Doug Anderson for game number 1 of our slate in the International Bowl today. Of course, there are 6 games altogether in the International Bowl over the, next week. Yesterday, got things kicked off with the U18 game, which was Team USA against Canada. Team Canada ended up winning that one 25-9. 3 more games coming up after this one in a couple different age groups. And the big one, the U19 game next week at UT Arlington. And, of course, the signing day breakfast next Wednesday. We'll have live coverage of all of that here on ESPN3. But for now, live coverage at the end of this one as Fernandez gets sacked. And it was Reginald Hills.
Hills again. He's been all over Carlos Alberto Farias Fernandez this afternoon, if you want to say his whole name. And he comes in again strong to bring down the international team quarterback. And once again, this defense just performing lights out.
And one last timeout taken here by Team USA. They are now out of timeouts, but it will be 4th and a mile coming up. 23 yards to pick up the 1st down. And so you figure IFAF will end up punting this one away, and Team USA will get that one last chance to try and drive down and pick up a victory.
And it's a lot of time. They won't have any timeouts, but 1:38 will give you an opportunity to work the sidelines and move the ball downfield and at least put it into a decent position for a field goal. Field goal is all it would take to win this ball game, and you do have the leg of Austin Vanover, the kicker out of Owensboro, Kentucky, at your disposal. Not a bad option to have, but they do have to push the ball, I would think, inside the 25-yard line to make that a reality.
So we'll see what they line up and try to do here. Maybe even come up with a block or something here rather than just forsake any kind of return. Well, it doesn't look like that's what they're lined up to do, just to get into their regular punt return formation. Koki Narita, the punter for the IFAF team. Boots a high one. That goes over to Knuckles. And he gets blown up immediately back at the 46-yard line. So Ricky Knuckles that time got underneath the punt, was looking to try and come away with a return on it, but just didn't have any room to go. Good job that time by Nangita.
Yeah. He came in and made part of that play along with Alfonso Bautisma, and those two on special teams doing a nice job for the IFAF team. That's tough field position now with only a minute 28 left to go up at the 46-yard line. There's room to work, but definitely have to be efficient.
TJ Green back in at quarterback here for Team USA, trying to lead the game-winning drive. Drops back, looks to fire, deep towards the sideline for Knuckles, and he made the catch! Ricky Knuckles down to the 25-yard line.
First big play we've seen from TJ Green, and he delivers to Ricky Knuckles on a tremendous pass. Knuckles has to come back to it, twirling to his left, and makes a beautiful catch, and now Green will stop the clock with a spike.
Been waiting all game for Ricky Knuckles to do something. He had such a good showing in the Jamboree on Thursday, and comes up with a big one right when the team needed it the most.
And you had alluded to the fact that it was Green and Knuckles who were kind of putting on the show in that Jamboree. Well, finally we see what that was all about here in this ball game.
And you know, that ball from Green might have even been a little bit underthrown, but a good job by Nichols to pull up a little bit, or Knuckles rather, to get himself in the position to come up with that catch. Shotgun here for Green. Knuckles is split out to the bottom of your screen. Takes the snap. He's just going to dump it off here to Crawford, and he's got some room to run. Picking up the first down inside the 15, breaks a tackle down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal with over a minute left here for Team USA.
Now if you're Team USA, you're thinking score, you're thinking touchdown, but at least you know at this point that you have put yourself in field goal position.
There's a player down for the IFAF team after that one being tended to by the trainers as we take a look at the replay in that one. Just some good running by Blayland Crawford as we've seen all day long out of him. And, well, on that note, we'll keep it right here during this because, well, this is a very important juncture in this game as now the injured player is going to come up and come off on his own power, jogging off. That was Maximilian Zangel, who we've seen make a couple of big plays, tipping some balls, coming up with some tackles on the defensive side of things for the world team.
There will be a substitution for the IFAF team as Zangel will check out of the ball game. Checking in will be Magnus Kinney. Crawford again with another nice play. Blayland Crawford has been tremendous for the select team this afternoon out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, or Bristow, Oklahoma, I should say.
They'll wind the clock here. Now under a minute remaining. Green out of the shotgun, three wide receivers to the left. Drops back, looks to pass to the left. A little bit high, though, that time, intended for Quez Henson. They just couldn't get on the same page.
Green got a little excited that time. Saw Henson in the flat open, wanted to feed him the football, and just sailed it over his head a little. Henson upset not because Green overthrew him, but just from the fact that he had a chance. Yeah, he wanted that ball in his hands. Henson's one of those guys that likes the stage. He likes to be performing when the lights are brightest, and this is certainly that time.
Well, the international stage is about as big as they come. So the crowd's starting to get out some chants of USA here on second and goal from the 8. Green rolls out to the left. He's got Nichols open, down low, reaching for the pylon. Touchdown, USA! Brian Nichols with a second effort to reach across the end zone and put Team USA back on top with 34 seconds left to play.
What a drive, and finally we see what the hype is all about concerning TJ Green. He leads this team on a last-minute scoring drive, and Brian Nichols couldn't happen to a nicer kid out of Strasburg, Colorado. You read his bio, and he talks just what an honor it is to be playing for Team USA, how humbled he is by the whole experience, and he's a young man with a great head on his shoulders. Great to see him make the big play in this ball game.
Certainly, and talk about nerves of steel for TJ Green that time. So they'll line up and go for 2 points here. Try and make it a 7-point game. Whether you're up by 5, up by 6, makes no difference. Might as well try and go up by 7. Force IFAF's hand. They run the jet sweep. for Quez Henson, and he's going to get bottled up for a big loss. So the two-point conversion unsuccessful, the same as the World Team's two-point conversion attempt earlier in this game was unsuccessful, and the score will remain at 20-15. 34 seconds left. IFAF still with 2 timeouts left, but, well, they've certainly got an uphill battle with the way that the Team USA defense has been playing.
They do have the biggest scoring strike of this ball game, the pass from Fernandez to Nicholas Kins, which put them on top in this game 15-14. But they certainly have their work cut out for them. A touchdown is what is needed to win. 34 seconds left in the game, and you just really have to tip your hat to Team USA. Their select team this morning and this afternoon has been very, very much I think in this ball game and executing the way that they needed to in order to come away with the victory. Their defense performed outstanding. Their offense, while they were slowed down at times, they were there when they needed to be, and they have come up with a nice touchdown here late to go up on top by 5.
Deep to return the kickoff for the World Team. Once again, Dalvin Solberger and Shunpei Fujikawa. Kicking it deep for Team USA, Austin Vanover. Vanover sticks the arm up, and we are set here. It is a low line drive kick, kind of squibbing. Goes off the hands of Fujikawa. He recovers it at the 10, and then gets bottled up very quickly down at the 15-yard line. A return of just 5 yards that time. And so it was going to have to be an 85-yard drive in 27 seconds for the World Team.
They will rely on their quarterback who has gone the distance this afternoon, Carlos Fernandez.
Fernandez out of the pistol, 2 receivers to either side. Quick pass to the outside. That one is caught, and quickly out of bounds is Simon Gandra.
Smart to work the sidelines. IFAF team has 2 timeouts left, but you don't want to use those until you absolutely have to. If you can continue to work the sideline, that's a smart move.
2nd down and 4. Shotgun. Snap. Throw to Gandrup again. Working the sideline. Tries to get out of bounds. Not going to be able to do it. As they only picked up 2 yards, and that's going to force the World Team's hand, and they're going to have to call a timeout.
If you make a play like that, you have to get out of bounds. That's priority number 1.
So there's 13 seconds remaining in this one. We'll take a step aside during the timeout. Be back at the end here on ESPN3. And as we welcome you back into AT&T Stadium, we'll take another look at that last play where Gandrup caught the pass but wasn't quite able to get to the sideline in time, forcing the timeout that was just taken by the World Team. 13 seconds remaining. Out of the shotgun. Here comes a pass deep down the sideline, and it is tipped and incomplete. As Fernandez that time was looking to hook up with net shot down the field, and it ended up going right off his hands. 6 seconds now remaining. Time for one last play, Doug.
And this is where you pull out all the stops. You send it deep. Team USA, they're going to be back in a soft zone. They'll be pushing it all the way back probably 15 to 20 yards to try and prevent anything downfield. But this is it. You take your chance.
Fernandez fires it deep. It is intercepted by Leonard Jr. And now he's going to return it here across the field. Getting some blocks set up against him. Makes a move at the 40 to the 35. Gets run out of bounds. That ticks the final seconds off the clock. And what a come-from-behind victory in the final minute by Team USA. 20 20-15 here in the opening game today.
Well, it was a terrific performance by Team USA's defense today. They allow one score in the first half, one in the second half, and they also get a timely performance from their offense, stepping up when it counted to come from behind and make the victory today a sweet one for Team USA.
It certainly was a big one, and of course, well, you look at some of the guys that had the big games, Scotty Forbes and then TJ Green on that last drive, Doug. Absolutely perfect.
Well, Scotty Forbes led Team USA on 2 scoring drives, helped out by Braylon Crawford, and then it was TJ Green who got into the act and at the end of the game threw the touchdown pass to Brian Nichols that was the game winner. Those two guys, big performances today for the select team.
And with the teams right now lining up for the MVP presentation at midfield, I'd like to announce that the MVPs, well, for each team, for Team USA, it is Scotty Forbes who wins the MVP, and for the IFAF team, it is their quarterback, Carlos Fernandez.
Well, Carlos Fernandez had a terrific game today. Really impressed with him, not only to be able to go wire to wire in this ball game, but also throw a couple of touchdowns and help this team to actually threw one touchdown pass and led the other scoring drive, which Andrew Wagan scored on a run. But you give your credit to Fernandez today for the job he did, and really the international team well represented by some big performances, especially from the Austrians today. Anton Wagan had a big day at running back and also kicking, and then Nicholas Kens had the big reception for Fernandez for the touchdown. So they were well represented, but Fernandez the MVP of the international team.
Yeah, it certainly was an excellent day for both of those guys. Fernandez, wire to wire as the quarterback. As far as Team USA went, they cycled around. They finally found something good with Forbes in that at the end of that first half, and then through most of the second half, sticking with him, and then of course turning to Green when they needed to lead the charge. As you see right there, the most valuable players presented by Riddell, Scotty Forbes for the U.S. and Carlos Fernandez of Mexico for IFAF's world team. And well, it was an excellent day, and of course an excellent day of football on tap. As coming up next, we're going to have the under-16 game, as it'll be USA Football's U16 team going up against Team Alberta. As we take a look here at some of the highlights from that one, there was Scotty Forbes' touchdown run back in the first half, and now of course here the game-winning touchdown going from Green to Brian Nichols. Caught it at the 3, got the initial contact, and then was able to reach across the goal line and get in.
Terrific performance by Nichols to cap off what was a heck of a day for the select team for Team USA with a 20-15 win.
And so we will wrap things up here for this first of 4 broadcasts. We'll be back in about 35 minutes with the start of the second one. That will be the U16 game, with the kickoff scheduled, like I said, for about 2 o'clock right now. So for everyone here involved in the production, Tom Monfiletto, Amanda Kazi, Doug Anderson, I'm Joe Vasile. Talk to you soon.